Hello everyone. So today I'm going to be showing you how to get Octopi and Pi-hole to work on the same Raspberry Pi. Um, Obviously there's a couple steps we have to start out with before we get started, but the first thing you're going to do is you're just going to want to install Etcher. So right here, you're going to flash from file, pick your file. Yeah, there's nothing bad on this screen. Okay, cool. You're going to pick your file, pick your target. Um, Here, let me just go and plug in an SD card real quick. Um, You can pick your target, select, and then flash. I told it no. I told it no, so it didn't. Yeah, it's not gonna do it. But you would obviously tell it yes, and then once it's done with that, um, you're going to create a file. Hang on, give me 1 second. Let me plug in my Raspberry Pi's operating system card. Let's get it fixed. Whatever. You're not going to do that when it asks you. Alright, so I've just gotten into this, and it's going to tell you boot E. Okay, anyway. Once you get in this boot, you're going to create a new file, text document. We're going to call it SSH. Not .txt, you're just going to add SSH. Boom. That's it, okay? Now, if you don't want to use, like, SSH to get into your Raspberry Pi, you can just plug in your monitor if you have one available. I have one available, but I'm going to use SSH for this tutorial. You only need access to the command line. So however you do that with PuTTY or with SSH or with just this or the monitor, you just need access to the terminal. So that's how you do it if you don't have it. You can also, if you want to add Wi-Fi, you can add it in here. You can put the SSI, my SSID. Make sure to uncomment these out. Like uncomment this, uncomment all of that. Um, so, uh, anyway, but yeah, add your network stuff there and then uncomment it out. Don't uncomment this piece. Leave that commented. Just uncomment these right here. Anyway, that's if you want to use Wi-Fi. I don't really want to use Wi-Fi, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to use Ethernet. It's highly recommended that you use Ethernet. Pi-hole definitely would run better with Ethernet. Remember that your latency times are going to be, you're sending the signal from your phone to the Raspberry Pi, to the router, to the switch, to the internet. You don't want that Raspberry Pi to have 50-second, 60-second, or not 60 millisecond, like, because that stuff adds up quickly. You're going to want Ethernet. It can be done on Wi-Fi, and I'll show you how, but it is not something that I would recommend. I would definitely recommend, like, good, a good Ethernet connection. However, if all you have is Wi-Fi or you don't have an Ethernet cable, it's fine. Um, but the next thing we're going to do is we're going to SSH into a Raspberry Pi. So go ahead and pull the SD card out of your computer, and you're going to plug it into your Raspberry Pi. Now, when you plug it in, obviously if you have the monitor, you can just plug it also and plug in the monitor. When you do that, it'll boot up the terminal, and you can do what we need to do from here. But if you don't have a monitor, you can plug it in via Ethernet, and if you don't have Ethernet, you need the monitor. Or no, you don't need the monitor. You can use the WAP supplicant. I'm sorry, I'm really confused. Yeah, there's many ways to get this to work. I recommend a monitor or Ethernet, but obviously editing the WPA supplicant will work. Anyway, so to actually SSH in your Pi, you're just going to use SSH. This process is the same thing for Linux, Windows, anything. I mean, SSH is a widely used command. You're just going to get to your terminal in Windows, so you can press the Windows key and type CMD or open up a command prompt. And then you're just going to do pi, and then the @ sign, and then the IP address of your Raspberry Pi. Now you're going to need to know the, like, IP address, you can ask a system administrator or the network administrator where you can map your network to find out where it's at, or you can pull up a monitor, plug it into the monitor, use ifconfig or IP address to figure out what your IP address is. But I already know mine, so I'm going to go into it. And you can access it here. So, you need to, the first thing we're going to do, if you need to add Wi-Fi, if you have a monitor but you want to add Wi-Fi, you can use sudo rasp-config, oh, I spelled that wrong. Raspberry, system options, and press enter, and then add your SSID and passphrase. I don't need that because I have Ethernet, so I'm just going to go and cancel that. The command to install Pihole is going to be curl dash SSL https // install pi-hole.net. Then you're just going to do the weird long line thingy above your enter key. And you're just going to do bash. Or you're going to pipe the output. Now we actually need to be root. Hang on, cancel. To enter root, you're actually going to use sudo su. I'm just going to do curl dash. Gosh, that was a loud noise. Somebody got mad at me about something. I cannot type today. I'm very sorry. Cool. Okay. So it's going to update its local cache of packages. Okay, okay, this is for me only. Let's reset the Pihole. Okay. Anyway, yeah, that's only going to happen for me. If it happens for you, then you can do the same thing I did. But network blocker, blah, 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 blah. Actually, I forgot one thing. Before, oh, never mind. It'll be right. I'm going to use Google. Actually, no, I want to actually use my own. You're most likely going to use Google. Alright, so here's the part where you want a static IP address. If you have a dynamic one, it'll work, but every 24 hours you're going to have to change it. But for me, mine's just 1.4. And this is going to be the same one you used to SSH, or actually get into your Pi. Boom. Yes, we want to, and lighttpd. Okay, yeah. Do all of this is just enter, enter, enter. There is something that we need to do after this installs, or not after. You're probably going to run into an error saying that there's a file, like it can't clone the GitHub directory. I'll show you how to solve that. If you don't, great, but yeah, let's go ahead and let this finish. And so, yeah. All right, so this is all of your stuff. You're going to have the IP address. You're going to have a website. Now, you'll probably, if those of you who are out there are smart, you'll know that Octoprint has the same IP address running on that. We're going to fix that. But if you don't have, by default these work on their own, but with the either two of them installed, it's going to break it. So, your admin log web is unchanged. Okay, ready? You're going to press enter. Now, if you got the error, you're going to do mk, you're going to do sudo, mkdir /etc/.pihole. Can I make, yeah, it exists. If you get the error about how it should error like right here. Yeah. If one of these steps errors, then you have to create the directory manually. And then just run that whole setup again. But now we're done with that. So we're going to, oh yeah, we need to edit the config file. So we're going to change directory into /etc. Oh yeah, all right. So we're going to change directory into lighttpd. Oh. So there's two ways you can do this. You can change it in external.conf, which I don't think is working right now. I think that's broken. Because if you do sudo nano x, it's blank. So I actually want to not enter, edit lighttpd.conf. Gosh, calm down. You're gonna scroll all the way down till you see this thing that says server.port. By default, it's 80. That is also the one that Octopi uses. So they're conflicting and they don't like it and they just want to change. But we are going to change it manually. So I'm just going to add another 80 to the end of mine, making my port 8080, which is going to solve all your problems. So then you're going to press Control X, Y, Enter, and boom. Now you've got them both working. So if you want, you can type. Anyway, so now you've got Chrome, and if you go to 192.168.1.4, Octoprint. You've got your Octoprint website. Cool, right? You know how to set up Octoprint. But if you want to access your Raspberry Pi, you're just going to go to Admin. That's not right. Oh. Oh. Sudo service. I'm sorry, I'm stupid. Restart lighttpd. Oh my gosh, I cannot type. Boom. Now try it. Boom, there we go. Okay. So you can either go to here or you can just go to /admin. Not. There we go. Okay. So now I've got Octopi and Pihole running on the same Raspberry Pi. I hope you enjoyed. And thank you for watching.